Hey, aloha everybody. We're just getting started here. Dude and his dogs, love that. My dog's right there. We're out in the jungle with him this morning. How you doing today? Great to have you here. There you go. We're going to be talking about something we've been studying and actually helping people with for, oh gosh, since 1996, 97, sometime in there. What we'd love to know is Miles Bud Star. What we'd like to know is what challenges do you have? Most people are not disconnected from their purpose because they lack ability, but they don't really we're not really instructed how to connect with it. And we're disconnected from our purpose because of conditioning from the schools and institutions. We'll talk more about that later, but fear, distraction, and survival patterns generally drowned out that direction. And so we end up buying the narrative that's out there. And the narrative, of course, is this will make you happy, this will make you successful, this will make you fit in. And it's about investing your time or money or buying shit or whatever that nobody needs. And we, set these goals. I don't know if anybody's ever had this experience. I sure did. You're so excited about, the potential of getting a brand new car. You get your first new car and it feels great and it smells great and you feel really good and all that stuff. But within a week or two, it's just another car and it's just another car payment. And hey, Rick Crow, how you doing? Glad to have you here. Make sure you guys keep tapping on the screen so other people can get out there. But what we want to know, Gregory, what we want to know, Diane, is, are you working on goals, or have you come out of the ether that working on goals and taking massive action is just about the most useful thing that we can do? Because we're always influenced without knowing it. It's in our subconscious mind about goals. And the big trap, of course, this will make you happy. This will make you successful. But the big trap is this will make you fit in. And we're, in essence, begging for a seat at the table. And we have no idea. We have no idea that we can create our own table. That we shouldn't be chasing the approval of others, even though it doesn't feel like approval. Maybe you've been involved in network marketing, and no matter what achievement level you get to, the first thing they want to know, they say, hey, congratulations, when are you going to get to double diamond, or when are you going to get to whatever? Hey, aloha, Jorge. Nice to have you here. So we'd love you to share and repost this. Let's get some people here. Let's get a discussion going. So one of the questions that comes up all the time with us when people think we're being harsh when we tell them that goals are a waste of time. I'm not saying goals are bad. I'm saying they're a waste of time until you discover your purpose, because most people don't realize, I sure didn't, that we're picking goals. Hey, aloha, Mitchell. We're picking goals that have been conditioned into us. And we never even think about, where did this come from, Frank? Where did this idea come from that I want this job, or to get married, or have kids? Where did it come from? And we don't even realize that chasing those things is for the most part, in our subconscious mind, in most of us, if not all of us, we're simply seeking approval of people we don't even know. They're other people's agendas. So I would love to know, Roger, what your thoughts are.
I
Welcome
love
to.
that. Seeking approval from people that we don't even know. Oh my
Yeah,
gosh, that's magic.
yeah. Right. We don't even know, right, Roger? Okay. We don't even know. Panda Zoo. Love that. Aloha. Glad to have you here. So today what we're going to talk about is why purpose feels so elusive. Most people don't even know what their purpose is. Dave and I run a course called the Master Key
That's
Experience.
me. I'm Dave, his wife,
It's
Davine.
Davine, Davene. Don't call her Divine, even though she is, or Davine. It's Davine, like Dave. But anyway, yeah, I'd love you to have you contact me. Really easy, just DM me. So here's what actually happens. We go to school. This is what happens to all of us. Okay, so, but this is the secrets that we keep, and on this call, we don't have any secrets. Okay, I'm too old for that bullshit. I'm showing up as me, not in my role, but since 1990, I'm going to say 96 to be very conservative, probably earlier than that, but say 96. My wife and myself have looked over what people's purpose statement, their definite major purpose, their vision statement, whatever, and 96% of them, 96%, we're talking about well in excess of 10,000 statements, 96% of them are about what people don't want in their life anymore. They're not about what they want. And that's fear. I want to get rid of my credit card debt, pay off my mortgage. I'm tired of renting. I want to buy a house. That is not about achievement. That is not about a purpose in life. Getting your credit card, do you really want that on your gravestone? Trisha paid her credit cards off early. Is that what you want on your gravestone? That little dash between the numbers, 1938 to 2020, that dash, that's a person's life. What does yours say? And that's what purpose in life is. And most people, and I'm certainly like most people, it took a real horrific blow to me to get me out of the ether. And my purpose in life from that point on was to help other people get out of the ether. Stop choosing goals. You don't even know why you choose them, okay? We don't even realize we've been trained to seek approval, which means what? We're thinking of other people as higher-us, and as soon as we get this done, then we're in. Hey, Anna, nice to have you here. Great to see you. Charlie, aloha. Robert, aloha. So, has
The
anybody...
Hammer just joined.
The
How do you like that
Hammer!
one?
The Hammer. That's when I was in sales, they used to call me the Hammer. So that's a big warm of the heart there. LGA 111, great to have you here. Keep tapping that screen. Let some people know we're alive here. Because what we want to do is help you break through some of the bullshit that you've been fed for 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 years about what'll make you happy, what'll make you successful, and what'll make you fit in. And help you find your own purpose, which is pretty interesting. Most people are not disconnected from their purpose because they lack the ability to attain it. They're disconnected because of conditioning, fear, distraction, and survival patterns. They've actually drowned out their deeper direction, and we end up in what's known as the survival mode, which is pretty common because the number one force in your subconscious mind, of course, is survival. That's its job. And we'll talk about how that really gets in the way of achievement, because anything that you really want to achieve that's worthwhile, and getting your credit cards paid off is not a worthwhile purpose in life, and it certainly isn't a worthwhile goal. It should be something you take care of. Yeah, it's the best investment that you can make. You get anybody that believes that it's 18% doesn't understand compounding interest. We all know that compounding interest is the eighth wonder of the world, and if it's not working for you, it's working against you. All right, Sarah? So anyway, we'd love to hear from you. What's going on with you in terms of, are you like most people, like I was until I woke up in the early 90s? The easiest way to say it is most people spend years chasing success only to realize even if they get close to it or hit it, they're not really happy. It doesn't have the payoff. And the reason is it's not in line with their purpose. It's not in line with their heart's desire. It's not in line with anything. So how many of you have ever felt like you were made for more, but you couldn't clearly define what that more was? So you unconsciously or even consciously defaulted to much lesser things like, getting a promotion where you work. Nothing wrong with it, but it certainly isn't a purpose in life. See, once you find your purpose, then something very interesting, two wonderful things happen. Two, not one, two wonderful things happen. The first thing that happens when you find your purpose, nothing else don't mean shit. And TikTok and Facebook and the corner bar and fantasy baseball, the distractions don't have any power over you anymore. How about that for freedom? Everybody knows that a person without purpose distracts themselves. And whenever I get to work with people personally, which is one of the great thrills in life for me at this point, the first thing I do is say, let's open up your phone. And we go and look. And I don't know if you know this or not, but the average person, Mateo, picks up their phone 97 times a day for absolutely no reason. You guys don't even know that most people are addicted to their phone. They pick it up 97 times, and that is not a Mark thing. That is not something off Chat GPT or whatever. That is from T-Mobile. 97 times a day. That they even know that pisses me off. I mean, we are paying a company that's paying the government to track us. But that's another whole thing. Hey, Warren Trout, aloha, glad to have you here. So what I'd like to know is, how many of you have ever felt like you could do more, have more, be more, is really the most important, be, but you couldn't clearly define what more was. Hey, there she is. Hey, beautiful. Miriam is here, one of our great stories. We'll get her on the call in a little bit, if I can figure out how to do that. So I want you to feel emotionally
It's the
safe.
same way you did it for me.
Okay. So I want you to feel safe here.
Hi,
Hey, Miriam, how you doing?
how are you?
I'm doing great. I'm looking
Good.
forward to working with you, and we got a really nice surprise for you next week in terms of deciding to work with us and be
I'm
able
so
to.
excited.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome.
It's
So,
going to be cool.
yeah. So Miriam is making some incredible changes in her life. We actually met right here on TikTok. And can you share a little bit about what's happened for you since you decided to open up to the greatness inside yourself rather than looking for it outside yourself?
So much. It's as if I've turned myself inside out. But like, it's so crazy. There's so much has happened because I think for all of my life, I've been dimming my light, and I always knew, like, I guess, I suppose you get used to not sharing your dreams, or, if you say to somebody, I'd love to do this, and they kind of laugh, or, people don't have the same vision of you, you kind of end up, not that you take it on board, but I think I've just really gone through so many changes, and I've been really gone inward and looking at what I'm choosing in life and who I am. And yeah, I've had massive changes in the last maybe 2 years, but especially last year. And I'm just so grateful to be here and to start working with you guys next week, because I know I'm at the stage now that it's going to be really, really beneficial to me.
Yeah.
And I just 2 seconds. Yeah, I just feel like it's really, really incredible. And I know that you guys understand me. And I did the color code, and it was so cool as well. Oh my goodness! So I'm only getting to know who I really am. I actually
Yeah.
don't really know who I am, but I'm at that point that I'm really cracking myself wide open, and I'm so much faith, like so much faith, because I know I can do whatever I want to do, and it's just
Yeah.
a matter of doing it. It's about the mindset, and it
Yeah.
is about the habits. Of course, it's about habits, and it's definitely the mindset. And I think when you've really, really done so much work on yourself, that there is no other way bar moving yourself forward and looking to look for the best out of life for yourself, for your family, and as well, like, I really do believe we're not all born here just to exist and go to work and go to jobs. We're born here with a greater purpose, and it's just a matter of waking everyone up to know what gifts they have that they can tap into, because I really believe that loads of people could be availing of these free gifts that God or the universe or source gave them, but they're
Yeah.
just used to dumbing them down, or being watching too much TV, football, social media, the phone. And come
Yeah.
here, it's so easy. Listen, it's so easy to go down those little routes, you know what I mean? But it's
Yeah. Yeah.
that's poisoning your mind, really, if you're to do it all the time. So yeah, I've been putting an awful lot of positive stuff into my head, and yeah, taking more breaks, being more mindful about what I'm looking at. And even in terms of the phone, on Sunday I didn't turn on the phone for most of the day, and you
Yeah.
know what, it was great. I was
Yeah.
so brilliant. It's actually a lovely feeling, because you're like, you know, you don't want people having access to you 24/7, because I think that's a little bit insane. And in this, that's just my thoughts on it. But yeah, I'm really, really excited. I've been through so much, I don't even know where to start. But I'm delighted with myself. I know I've come on so much,
Yeah.
and my body's probably catching up with it as well. And what else was I going to say? Yeah, I'm very excited. I really, really am. I'm very passionate about all of this and the message behind it, and doing better in life. And just
Yeah.
for me, it's not for anyone else, or likes or shares or any. It's because I know I can, and it's because deep down I want to literally express myself the way that I want to live life to the maximum of
Right.
what I'm capable of. And I want
Right.
my daughter to be proud of me. I want to be proud of me. I just think, if you deserve and want a peaceful life, and you can give a message, and you have the gifts to do so, I think it would be an awful shame to leave the planet and not have tried. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. What color did you test out as?
Oh my goodness, I'm yellow.
Of course, yellows are about adventure, and what we're really talking about here is that I think is fantastic. Is the greatest adventure on the planet is self-discovery. Once you break away from the conditioning, and that's what we're going to talk about next, why purpose gets lost, so we end up setting goals that are defined by other people. I know I joined some network marketing companies. I'm grateful for the experience, but looking back on it, I had some, I guess a lot of people would say a lot of success. But what really happened was I met some people, and I started to look for that same thing that you talked about. I realized I was sitting in an audience one time. It was in Greensboro, North Carolina, and there were 18,000 people there. And it hit me. It just hit me. You could have touched me and I would have fallen down, just fallen right over. It hit me that this is all nonsense. Not the industry, not the company. I'm not knocking that. I'm
Yeah.
saying that I was looking for fulfillment outside
Yeah.
myself,
Yeah.
and that these goals were set for me. And I'm going to tell you right now, as soon as somebody, if you can get this, folks, this is worth your time right now. This one statement is worth your time. If you don't know what your purpose is, your heart's desire, and a good friend of mine, Tom Chenault's been here for a minute or two. You know, he loves to say, "Fire your head, hire your heart." If you don't know what your purpose is, you are a sucker for distractions. You'll end up distracting yourself. And I
Yeah.
think, Miriam, that you've been able to shut your not even turn your phone on. I mean, people like freak out when I say, I'm sorry I didn't get back to you sooner, but I don't
Yeah.
bring my phone with me in the jungle, and they act like I've committed some,
Yeah.
I'm in there with a pedophile.
I
What do you
know.
mean you didn't bring your phone? What's wrong with you?
I know.
No, there's something
Yeah.
right. There's something right with me. And when I'm out in the jungle with the dog, I want to be out in the jungle with the dog. I want to be there and appreciate it.
Yeah.
So this great adventure that you're talking about of self-discovery, I mean, have you started to see that purpose
Yeah.
first and then
Yeah.
goals? What's
I
that?
think
What's that like for you?
I think for me, because there's been so many personal what, how would I call them, like revelations or things that I've gone through that have been difficult, and but it's okay. I think I wasn't maybe in a place to think clearly about purpose, and I was just regulating myself and stuff like that. But I definitely am back on. Last night I was drafting out my ideas for my purpose, whereas before I probably felt like, oh, I don't know if I'm in the right, if I'm going through too much to do that, or do I know what my purpose is? Because I still don't. Like, I'm not going
Yeah.
to lie, but I know my purpose is to get more confident and to, like I know there's something big there for me, and it's just a matter of me continuing the journey. And I know that's the thing. I have so much faith in myself and in God or source. I know for a fact that I've if I can believe so strongly in something that hasn't even happened for me,
Right.
it must be good.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, thank you so much. Thanks for hopping on. What we're really talking about, folks, and Miriam's now searching for it. You can see the enthusiasm. You can hear the enthusiasm and excitement in her, even though she doesn't know. She knows she's heading in the right direction. And this
Yeah.
is the willingness to step into uncertainty. See, all the wisdom that you want, all the new knowledge that you want, all the new adventure that you want, all the new people that you want, all this whole thing is so wonderful. Can you mute yourself, Miriam, so we're not getting
Yeah.
any feedback? And feel free to unmute anytime. Is basically what happens is without purpose, we'll actually distract ourselves, and this is very unhealthy. Now, how does this happen? How do we lose sight of our heart's desire and start operating from what's known as the convergent mindset rather than the divergent mindset? What Dr. Land found out in a study at NASA that took place in the mid-60s and ran for 25 years is that 98% of 5-year-olds test out as creative genius. And he worked with B.F. Skinner. B.F. Skinner deserves all the acclaims, all the credit, all the status that Jung and Freud did. Skinner said, unfortunately, society attacks early when we are helpless before we've tasted freedom. And so we go to school, and what happens is, we're taught to comply rather than think. We're rewarded for obedience and punished for individuality. And worst of all, we're taught to compete instead of create and collaborate, which is our natural state. And so this happens, this is childhood conditioning, and then we're in school, and it's not long before you're in school, before you're trying to fit expectations. You have fear of judgment, choosing safety over truth, right? And which is your truth, pleasing other people, right? How can I say, oh, I wasn't about pleasing other people? Really? Didn't you dress the same way that your friends did? pretty much the same way. Yeah. So we get into a survival mode, and we don't even realize that we're unconsciously chasing approval of people that we don't even know and trying to make other people comfortable. So a real good thing to think about is many people didn't lose their purpose, but they slowly abandoned themselves. And the story of the Golden Buddha is just a wonderful story. We'll probably circle back to that. But these are some examples once we get out of school and this conditioning that we get for anywhere from, 12 to 16 years. In my case, 16 years of school. 0 to first grade to high school graduation and college. Choosing careers to impress other people, whether in line with what you studied. Suppressing your creativity, ignoring your intuition, and staying busy to avoid reflection. So we'd love to know if you have any ideas or feel like participating. Where in your life have you been living from expectations that were put on you that you think are your own? They were programmed into you, conditioned into you, parents, institutions, and let's pretend that they all had your best interest at heart. We all know it's not true, but let's pretend that it is true. Hey, Ash Royal, good to have you here. Where in your life have you been living from expectation instead of alignment? Because if you were here when Miriam was speaking, she talked about she's starting to get in line with herself, and she's now found out she is a yellow personality type, which is optimism and adventure, and she's seeking a new adventure. So we'd love to know that. Let you think about that for a second, because that's
I want to
really...
reiterate something that you said about if you don't think you were conditioned, if you don't buy this B.F. Skinner concept and the subsequent George Land NASA, not Nassau, that's in Florida too, though. The NASA study. Think about when you were in school and you got to in middle school, somewhere around that age, and you started to judge your worth based on what you wore, what your friends wore, what your friends did. Did your friends party, and as a result, you started to party? Did you have to have a members only jacket? Did you have to wear Reebok shoes? I'm going back to
Yeah.
going back to when I was.
Yeah, Dave, you're off. There you go. You're
Didn't
back.
give me, oh, sorry. My role models didn't give me any help to try to find out who I am, to search for my creativity, to find the things I really loved, right? That's not what parents do. They form you into what they want you to be. And it's not them. They're not being bad. It's what happened to them. And
Yeah.
it's what they think they're supposed to do. And it's based on what the culture and the society pours all over us every single day. So Miriam's busted out of that. Anybody else here want to bust out of that? I love that you said that. That was cool.
Yeah, and I love what True North is typing in here, and it's a funny thing, True North, because in the Master Key experience that we facilitate, it starts in September. It's a 6-month course, and everybody is scholarshiped into the course, so there's no pitch coming here. Although there is a price, and the price is work. You got to do the work. If you're following the Pied Pipers of prosperity, they're going to tell you 3 things to sell you. They tell you to sell you. What do they tell you? It's easy, it's convenient, it's comfortable, it's convenient, and it's instant. And change is not comfortable, and it's not convenient, and it's not instant. All you need to know about life, go sit in the jungle and just watch. Every hour or two, just sit and watch. And if you don't think you have the time to go sit in the jungle or in nature, all the answers are in nature. If you don't think you do, then you've been perfectly conditioned. If you don't think you've been conditioned, you've been perfectly conditioned to chase, chase, chase. That's because in school, we're taught to compete rather than create. And True North, you'll love this. One of the things that we send everybody is a little toy compass that joins the class. And the point of the class, True North, is for them to find their true north. Find the compass, of course, is a metaphor in the way I'm speaking right now for the heart. What's your heart's desire? Not what you've been conditioned. And Dave, you made such a great point. Your parents, God love them, they did their very best. But if you're in your 40s, 50s, or something like that, they came out of the same system that taught us to compete rather than collaborate and create. And that compete thing, because you weren't perfect at everything, you joined a little tribe and you dressed like them and you talked like them and you hung out on the weekends. That's not a bad thing. But if you see the bigger picture like True North does, if you see the bigger picture, what you see is, holy shit, maybe I did get conditioned. So this is why smart people struggle with purpose. I'm going to say it several times today. Without purpose, a person without purpose, they'll distract themselves. And today it's even easier. T-Mobile tells us, this is a cell phone company themselves, not somebody against cell phones. The average person picks their phone up and checks it 97 times a day for no reason. You're addicted. It gives you the feeling of being connected to other people. In reality, you couldn't be further away because nobody is putting, I shouldn't say nobody, I am, and I know some other people do, but most people are playing a role on there. That's not who they are. That authentic connection, like I've been able to develop with Miriam, we DM each other almost on a daily basis. It's a delightful thing to I got to tell you, the biggest reason or why smart people fail with purpose is this desire is inside that they can't define, and Miriam's now looking for that. Davine was looking for that. I was looking for that. Okay, please keep tapping, get some hearts out there. Let's come people on here. Let's get going. Let's deal with your issues. Okay, we don't want to put anybody on the spot, but why the fuck not? Why the fuck not? And if you're not happy, joyous, and free, get on here and tell us what's going on. Because what happens is you don't realize there's a conflict between who you really are, this magnificent light of the world, made first class, by first class. You're a creative genius. Land proved that. The ancients talked about this dating back 5,000 years. They talked about a trickster god. Every culture on every continent had the same thing, and there wasn't one big culture in Europe or one big culture in Asia. There were hundreds of little cultures, and they all had what's known as a trickster god, a wish granter. And how did this story survive for 5,000 years? The first one we have a written record of is a trickster god called Jinn, Jinn. Can you see how easily that morphed into the genie in the bottle, right? And which is fantastic. Okay, and of course we have Aladdin and the magic lamp, the fairy godmother, the magic carpet, and I could go culture after culture. Loki for the Scandinavians, and the Irish had theirs, and the Italians had theirs. This trickster god is a metaphor for your subconscious mind. And Dr. Land's study proved that 98% of 5-year-olds test out as creative genius. They followed them for 25 years. 25 years later, only 2% tested as creative genius. And Skinner and Land both concluded conclusively it was the school systems that stripped out or sequestered that creative genius and made us comply rather and compete rather than explore, think, and create and collaborate. Very, very big
Because
thing.
who set up the school system?
Rockefeller set up the school system in the late 1800s, early 1900s. He spent $660 million. And what he told them when they set up the school system, you're going to love this. This is what he told them. He said, I want it modeled after the Prussian school system. I do not want thinkers coming out of school. I want people coming out with an employee attitude. He wanted employees, not thinkers. This created this idea, this compete rather than create, created this convergent thinking, which is judgmental versus divergent thinking, which is taking ideas and, oh, what can you make out of this idea? That's your individuality and your gifts. So this is why smart people struggle with purpose. They overthink, and it creates paralysis. They're waiting for certainty, trying to figure out an entire life in one thing. Let me tell you all you need to know about life. It's right in that book. It has no meaning. It's never had any meaning, and it never will have any meaning. The great Joseph Campbell, you really want to make progress in your life? Read Joseph Campbell, or get the Bill Moyers Joseph Campbell interview on Prime. There's 6 one-hour episodes. He studied these myths that were influential in cultures spanning over 5,000 years. It's called The Hero's Journey, which Miriam is on, I'm on, Davine is on. True North is obviously on that, right? But it is waiting for certainty, and the reason is there's a conflict within what the heart wants but versus what the head's been conditioned to. So here's what you need to know. Your conscious mind, the smart person, they get an idea about how their life can be a little bit better, okay? But it's different. The subconscious mind, running 95% of the show, says, that's not our identity. Anything different is danger. Why? The number one purpose in the subconscious mind, or primary purpose in the subconscious mind, is what? Self-preservation. So anything different, danger approaching, run, hide. What am I really talking about in everyday psychological language? Identity, your identity, which is all in your subconscious mind. The subconscious mind makes no judgment. So what it sees is even your self-sabotaging behaviors, it sees those as part of the whole that's kept you alive. So it resists change. Write this down. This is gold for you. And I know that sounds arrogant, but what I'm trying to do is save you 10 years that I needed to take to figure this out. Okay? Your identity is going to defeat your intention every single time until you learn how to alter your identity by doing the kind of work that Miriam's doing on herself. It's really that simple. So, overthinking creates paralysis. This is, again, waiting for certainty, because what? Uncertainty, subconscious goes, Your identity defeats your intention every single time. Trying to figure out life all at once. Life is only one day at a time. Okay, the big secret that nobody tells you is now is all there ever is, now is all there ever was, and now is all there ever will be. Okay? The only meaning of life is what you give it. Give it everything you have today. And this, for an hour or two a day, and if you don't think you do, let's get your phone on here and open it up and I'll prove it to you. Don't tell me you don't have the time to put in 45 minutes to an hour a day on introspection and on yourself, okay, and thinking rather than distracting. Because the truth is you're allocating your time for something else. And why are you sucked into this? It's simple. You've been conditioned to distract yourself. So fear of
An hour a
choosing-
day. People won't even do 5 minutes a day, Marky. People won't even stop, even when they're totally stressed out and ready to kill somebody. They won't stop for 5 minutes and say, hey, what's going on here? Question
on.
it.
Yeah.
Do something about it. Don't just survive.
Yeah.
Life is meant to be lived, not survived.
Right. And these 5 things, waiting for certainty, I already talked why that's never going to happen, because it's uncertainty. And Miriam was great earlier on the call. She's in. I wonder what's in there, rather than what'll fix me out there. That's the bullshit, okay? 1, waiting for uncertainty. 2, trying to figure out an entire life in 5 minutes. 3, fear of choosing wrong, and we're back to the school system, right? Got a D on the test, you're stupid. No, I'm not. School's pointless. Intellectualizing instead of just experiencing it. Okay? We're not here to figure out the meaning of life. Joseph Campbell wrote this beautiful statement. He said, why would you ask what the meaning of life is when you are the answer? You're the answer to the meaning of life. And the 5th thing, of course, is endless searching. Endless searching for the right deal, the right woman, the right guy, whatever. Okay? This is just another way to distract ourselves, because we can hide Used to be in books, now it's, now it's online. So purpose really arrives, and this is what I love about Miriam's statements earlier. She says, I don't know what it is, but I know there's something I'm supposed to do. Isn't that great? She's open, she's curious. Second strongest force in the subconscious mind. Hey, thanks for tapping the screen. We're going for 10,000 likes. We're at 3,300. Let's get the word out. Let's talk about what's going on with you in a second. But purpose really arrives like a lightning bolt. It usually reveals itself through movement. This is not movement. Repeating what you do every day the same way is not movement. Purpose is discovered progressively, not instantly. It reveals itself. If my purpose revealed itself all of a sudden that day in the Coliseum that I talked about, I probably would have said, no, you don't mean me. But I knew, I was drawn to investigate, okay? So we're going to talk about next the biggest lie about purpose in a few minutes. But I'd love to know if you guys could help us out here, help us grow, we'll help you grow. What's going on with you? The big thing is some people achieve everything they thought they wanted, but they still feel disconnected. Anybody have that experience? Anybody have that experience? Thanks, Viamila, for the follow. I appreciate that. Thank you so much for sharing the live. Thank you, True North, for liking the live. Thanks for tapping the screen and getting the word out about how crazy we are here. We're not here to entertain you. We're here to thank you so much for the roses. You're awesome.
Your mic is rubbing on your shirt and it's causing
Okay. Thanks, honey. Better?
yeah. I don't know. It drives me crazy. I don't know how other people feel about it, but
How about that? Is that better?
I don't know. You'd have to move. You'd have to be talking.
Is that better? Is that
Oh,
better?
that's good. Yeah. Nice job. Look at you.
Okay. All right. So, thank you so much for all those roses. So nice. We're at 4,600. We're moving to 10,000, or we're not. Here's the deal, right? Let's talk about the biggest lie about purpose. And again, our whole premise here, and it's not a theory, it's not a postulate. You can read the Buddha, you can read the Christ, who they basically said the same thing. I'm not saying that Buddha was the son of God. I'm saying that we all are. And even the Christ, this whole thing about only one is perfect. There's another conditioning that you suck. When the master teacher himself said, you'll do greater things than I. And that isn't to get your credit cards paid off. That's not greater things than I. If you go after the greater things, your purpose in life, all that other shit gets cleaned up anyway. But we've been conditioned backwards because it's a way to keep us as indentured servants without knowing that we're still indentured servants, right? Two things you need to know about the economy. One, money is debt. Just write this down and think about it. Money is debt. Inflation is taxation. Figure that out. When you do, you'll go, holy shit, I should take care of myself right now. So, if you don't have purpose, you'll distract yourself. You become a sucker for temptation. And you continue to join things that don't lift you up, okay? That you're trying to fit in with other people. And there's nothing wrong with having friends or a tribe as long as they're elevating you. And I'll tell you one of the stupid things about that. 2 stories about tribes, okay? First of all, a wonderful story about a cow and a snake, okay? This is important. Cow drinks milk. Cow drinks water and produces milk. A snake drinks water and produces venom. We all get the same shit. We all get the same stuff. The question is, what are you going to make out of it? Productivity or destructivity? Now, let me tie this into another story. I think you'll love these two. I'm going to link them together. It's my gift, okay? Not my gift to you. It's just something I was gifted to take metaphors or parables and put them together. So you always hear, whoever you hang around, the 5 people you hang around with the most, that's going to be your average income. Let me tell you how fucking stupid that is, okay? So let's take a person that makes 500,000, 400,000, 300,000, 200,000, and 100,000, right? So that would mean that would mean that the average person in the group makes 300,000. Well, that means the person making 500,000 is going to say, screw this, my income's going to go down. 400,000 is going to go down. So now the 300,000 person is left, but the average is what? 200,000. So he's going to leave. And the person with 200,000, 100,000, the average is 150. He's already making 2, or she's going to leave. It's the stupidest metaphor in the fucking world, and it's a sucker shot. Think about how many times you heard it. The people that you spend the people you spend the most time with, the 5 people you spend the most time with, that's going to be with their average income, that's going to be yours. It's bullshit. The math doesn't fucking work. Let me tell you what it really is about. And we'll get back to the snake and the cow. It's about lifting your spirit. It's about lifting the consciousness in you to what it was originally meant to be. You know, there's another thing out there that's total bullshit. Come to me and I'll show you how to get into the right consciousness. What they're really saying is, God fucked up and I'm going to fix you. I mean, start using some common sense here, okay? I'm on a roll now. So let's get back to the cow and the snake. Again, the cow drinks water, produces milk. The snake drinks water and produces venom, okay? There's only 3 types of people in the world, and then I'll get back to the real truth about the 5 people that you spend your time with, okay? So, 3 types of people in the world. The small minds talk about people, and venom comes from there. Second, okay? Hey, look at that thing on my head. That was kind of cool, okay? Second group of people talks
That
about...
was something that Amelia sent you.
Oh, that's so nice. Second group. First group talks about people. You know venom is coming out of there, okay? Second group talks about what? Events. And that's always judgmental, okay? Which is some venom. The third group, which is what we want here with you guys today and you women here today, talks about ideas and how to put those ideas in play and experiment a little bit. So now let's get back to the 5 people. The 5 people you spend the most time with is going to help you take the interference patterns out of the conditioning you had and resurrect that creative genius, that light of the world that you are. He said you will be the light of the world. He didn't say, you see this in a lot of churches, look what you did to me. He said, you'll do greater things than I. You're the light of the world. The kingdom is within you. Your purpose is in you, okay? It's already in you. You don't have to work for your purpose to surface. You just have to, and I think it was, hey, Pachamama, what's up, dog? Let's get Pachamama on here live. I think he's at the game tonight. Anyway, hey, thanks for the rose. So let's put these 2 together. You want to be a cow, not a snake. You want to produce something constructive rather than destructive. So the 5 people you spend the most time with, take a look at the people. Are they talking about other people? Are they talking about the fucking algorithm? This is talking about events instead of ideas. I'm talking about, like Miriam was talking about earlier, about, wow, I'm in a case of self-discovery. You know, Socrates said it better than anybody. An unexamined life isn't worth living. And we've been taught to what? Examine our possessions. Listen to Matthew, right? Who said, right, in Matthew, we're instructed, don't put your treasures in things that can rust, be stolen, or thieves can break through. Put your treasure in heaven, because where your treasure is, there your heart is also. That's the group you want to hang around with. Not the group talking about people, not the group talking about events, but the people talking about finding that genius in us, that the ancients told us. I told you earlier, there was a trickster god in every culture, on every continent, that would grant wishes. What is a metaphor for your subconscious mind? And guess what? They gave us the instructions on how to rub the lamp. You have a lamp in you. That's in that book, Standing Tall. And all I did was take ancient wisdom and update the language a little bit, okay? How do you rub the lamp? Abracadabra. What happens for you when I say abracadabra? What happens for you? Magician, thinking about a magic trick. What's your response to that? Okay. What's your response? Maybe the great Steve Miller song. Abracadabra, gonna reach out and grab you. Okay. Abracadabra goes back to 2450 BC in Judaism. It's two words. Abra, meaning I create, cadabra, as I speak. So you can rub that lamp that the ancients talked about, that Dr. George Land discovered. We all have a creative genius in us, but you are constantly training your brain with this great little tiny book. See if you can find a used version. It's not in print anymore, called Hung by the Tongue. Amazing book. Okay, the words that we say to ourselves, listen to me now, your subconscious mind has no defense against your voice. It believes you. So say, I'm such a fat slob, I'm such a fat slob, I'm such a fat slob. This is what you don't know. Here's another group you don't need to follow. These morons, no offense, personally, I'm sure they're wonderful people. They're going to show you the secrets of manifestation. A buffangool to that. That's bullshit. You have a perfect manifesting mechanism in you, and it's automated. You have been manifesting the thoughts in your subconscious mind since you've been in your early teens. What you think about grows. The Buddha, you are what you think about all day long. Okay? So this is so stupid that people are listening to this, I'll get you in the right vibration, and listening to, here's the secrets to manifestation. Of course, they all have courses for sale, but, God bless. Okay? I don't worry about that. What I worry about is something that I can't control, but that's just me. I can't stop people from hurting themselves, but I can share truth with them. Hey, thanks for over 10. We just passed 10,000, so grateful for that. So the reality is, okay, you were made first class by first class. You're entitled to go first class once you know the secret of success. Success is service. And now we'll get down to purpose and the point of purpose. Your purpose isn't what you get, okay? Your purpose is what happens to other people when you are simply doing your purpose, living your best version of you, as long as you're not doing it to get accolades from them. Think about that. We're all taught, when you get the Ferrari, when you get the second house at the beach, it's all bullshit. Those are all things that thieves can break through, steal, or will rot. And Matthew told us, right in the book of Matthew, put your treasure in heaven, because where your treasure is, there your heart is also. And that's really what we're talking about today. And this is why some people achieve lots of things, but secretly they've told us over the years, they told my wife over the years, they feel disconnected and unfulfilled. And it's really important, because achievement without meaning is huge. Right? And what did they do?
Yeah.
They chase somebody else's goal. Go ahead, Dave.
The other thing about the achievement stuff is, who here, just raise your hand or whatever, ever bought a new car? And you were like so excited, whether it was brand new or pre-owned, it was new for you and it was great, and you're excited and driving it around, and like within a week, it's old hat. You no longer have that excitement. It doesn't last. Those are not the treasures in life. The treasures in life gotta come from the inside. They're never gonna come from the car you drive, or the clothes you wear, or the restaurants you go to, or the girlfriend you have, or the flights that you take, or any of that crap. You'll never find joy until you look inside.
Yeah, and when you do, you see, here's the thing that nobody tells you. You don't get what you want, and you don't get what you need. You get what you are. You want a better life? Be a better person. How do you do that? Well, let me ask you this. Do you think that watching TikTok and Facebook and Instagram shit for 3 hours a day is going to make you a better person? Or do you think, honestly, are you
Except for
just,
this live, of course.
except for this, except for me? Okay. But anyway, so this is so important to pay attention, what Dave was talking about, to energy and fulfillment, because when you find your purpose, you tap in to the omnipotent, omniscient, and omnipresent, and in infinite amount of energy, because you're coming from love. Purpose is usually not found through more thinking. It's uncovered by awareness and movement. And as you keep moving towards it, discouragement, setbacks, and all that shit, of course it's going to happen. And you don't care. Because when you find that one thing, it's right here. When you uncover that, when you finally hear the voice of your heart rather than conditioning your head, nothing else don't mean shit. It just doesn't matter anymore. And you're not mad about it. You're done. You're done with it, okay? So what are 3 things you consistently feel drawn toward even when you try to ignore them? Something to think about. We'd love to know what your points are. So this is why most people never stay connected to purpose. Conditioning pulls them back. The environment they're in, they hang around with the first 2 groups of people that talk about people and people that talk about events, instead of putting themselves in a mastermind or being with people like Miriam, like my wife, the fabulous Davine, these amazing women that are constantly lifting themselves up and not judging anybody. Mental habits, that old identity is going to win over intention, inconsistency, and a lack of structure and support, okay? So we want to talk about subconscious conditioning. How do you change your identity? Because again, your identity, all of it, including the self-sabotaging stuff, is always going to win, because the subconscious mind primary purpose is to keep you alive. Self-preservation, number 1 force in the subconscious mind. It doesn't see your identity as, well, this, and this are self-sabotaging, but these are good, so I'm going to act. No, it sees the whole as the sum of the parts. That's your identity. It's housed in the subconscious mind, which runs 95% of your life. And it took me a while to figure this out because I'm Polish and Italian. Oh, subconscious means below consciousness. I can't see it. How do you see it? Your behavior. Okay? Which means what? I'm telling you absolute truth when I say to you, you have an automated manifesting mechanism. And if you ever spend any time listening to somebody telling you the secrets of manifestation, this should ring in your head. It's full of shit. It's bullshit. You've been manifesting perfectly what you really believe in your subconscious mind. Not what you say believe, not what you tell other people, not what you'd like to believe, but your beliefs are reflected in your life. The world within creates the world without. Jesus said it, Hanel said it, Buddha said it, Socrates, Plato, Aristotle, Emerson, Whitman, Thoreau. You want to argue that point? Go argue with them, okay? They've stood the test of time for one reason. They speak truth. Buddha said, you are what you think about, okay? Sun Tzu said the same thing. They all said the same thing. So this is subconscious conditioning has taught you what? To fear change. And the way that you change it is repetition of interrupting automated behaviors. What's an automated behavior? You go to the grocery store, you grab the carriage, and you immediately maybe go to the right, okay? When you go to the grocery store next time, just go to the left. When you get up tomorrow morning, notice when you go to slip on your pants that you're going to start with the same leg that you've been starting with for what? 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 fucking years. Oh my God. So just say, whoa. And maybe with me, it was my right leg, so I started putting my left leg on first. And this is what you want to say when you go left in the grocery store. When you go to the gym, instead of starting, with cardio, start with free weights, which you should do anyway, and then go to cardio. Just interrupt some of these automated, maybe you come home after work, you pat the dog and you crack a beer. Don't do that, okay? Come home, go kiss your honey, okay? And have a glass of water and tell the dog No, not yet. And notice and say to yourself, hey, this is different. And guess what, subconscious? This is what I used to say to myself all the time. Hey, guess what, subconscious? Different isn't danger. It sees anything as different as danger. And until you train your subconscious mind that different isn't danger, whenever you try to do something different, so you have this intention, that means you have to create some different behaviors. And when you do those different behaviors, what does the subconscious go? Danger, danger, don't do it, because it's trying to keep you alive. And it's confused about what? Different and danger. You have to change your mind, because clarity without structure usually fails. It is repetition of constantly doing something different, okay? Maybe when you take the dishes out of the dishwasher, you start with the top rack. Leave it in. Pull the bottom rack out first and put it away. Say, hey, I did something different, subby, and guess what? We didn't die. It's okay. This is what creates open-mindedness, and this is what starts to build confidence. So let's keep this practical. I don't want to get too mystical on this. But basically what we're talking about are behavioral patterns. And our experience, and it took us years to put together an infallible quiz. And that infallible quiz will show you where your blocks are. You are either an inconsistent performer, drifting potential, at-risk mindset, okay, or a success accelerator, but can't break through to the next level, okay? And so you could go to markjquiz.com. Dave, maybe you can put that in there. Yeah, Dave's right. You got to change your mind. Thank you so much, True North, for hanging
TikTok
with us.
blocks it when you put links in because,
Okay.
God forbid, anybody have
Well,
their own thoughts.
I'm Mark.
The link is also in your bio, right?
Yeah, the link's in my bio, and you'll love it. And here's the really good news, okay? There's no fucking paywall. Take the quiz, okay? You'll take the quiz. You'll get your results instantly. I hate those quizzes, you know, how you're going to lose weight, you're going to do this, going to do that. And then it's like, oh, we've got your plan, and there's a monthly plan, but you can save more on the, can't even see your results, okay? So this, you'll see your results instantly, and you'll also see a video that's, you know, depending on what pattern you have that's blocking you from the life you really want. It's called the What's Holding Me Back quiz. And I'm sure you'll find that it's accurate if you're honest. Nobody's watching, okay? Just be honest, because you have conditioning that's pulling you back, environment, those are the people that you're listening to, and the algorithm that you've set up. I'm going to talk to you about algorithm. The mental habits that you've had for 20, 30, 40 years, and a lack of structure and support in terms of generating change, okay? And the really cool thing about generating change, we start people off with little tiny things because we know something most people don't know. Did you know that brushing the dog and getting a house in Hawaii, the subconscious mind doesn't know the difference between those two? So we start with little things and prove to your subconscious mind there's a new sheriff in town, you're running the show, you're creating these little transformations, and then we simply up the ante, because the main thing is to make promises and keep promises. That's the whole secret to having a life that you want. Promise to go brush the dog, and when you do, say, hey, I promised and I kept my promise, and celebrate like you won the Super Bowl or whatever, okay? Because what you're doing when you do that is you're releasing endorphins. And while that feels good, what most people don't know about endorphins, it costs them millions of dollars in their life. When endorphins are released, all the learning centers fly open. Now let's just think about what I just talked about. What I talked about is creating the habit of making and keeping promises. Doesn't have anything to do with the dog or vacuuming or anything else like that. It has everything to do with stating that I'm making a promise, I did the work, I kept the promise by celebrating, because you can attach any feeling to any experience you want. You can attach the same feeling the day that you got married or the day you got divorced, whichever one was happier, okay? You can attach that feeling of when your first time you held your child. You can attach that same feeling to brushing the dog. It takes a little practice, but when you do, endorphins are released, you're feeling good, And we all think children learn faster. They don't. Their brain's not capable of learning faster. The reason that they appear to learn faster is because the average child smiles 400 times a day. The average adult smiles 20 times a day. When they're happy, endorphins are released, you're feeling good, but all the learning centers fly open. What could possibly be better atmosphere or environment in your head to be feeling good and having the learning centers fly open when you're trying to teach yourself a new habit? You're not trying to teach yourself to brush the dog. You're trying to teach yourself, I make promises and I keep promises, and it's going to be different to the subconscious mind. So this is how we uproot subconscious conditioning. We use repetition in our favor, and you need a mastermind and a community, and you need to understand that there's 7 laws that run your life. Most people know more about their cell phone than they do about the greatest mechanism on the planet. They know more about the remote than the greatest mechanism on the planet. This is a wonder. It's a wish granter. It is a creative genius. The only thing that gets in our way? Our tongue. The tongue of our thoughts and the tongue of our mouth. Because abracadabra is absolutely true. I create as I speak is what abracadabra actually means. And so you're constantly training your brain. I'm such a fat slob. I'm such a fat slob. I kept saying that and managed to get myself up to 368 pounds. Now, then I tried to lose weight, and that doesn't work because nobody wants to lose anything. You don't want to lose your family. You don't want to lose your keys. You don't want to lose your wallet. You don't want to lose anything. And then get rid of that. That worked a little bit. And then I dumped all of it. I learned this stuff. So I just started declaring, I'm a healthy person. I do the things that healthy people do every day. That was in 1990, and I'm at about 235, and that weight's been off since 1990, 91. Okay. And you know what? I didn't do shit except teach my subconscious mind that I do the things that healthy people do every day. That's it. They don't overeat. Okay. They exercise. I stopped exercising to get healthy, and I started exercising because I am healthy. Oh, I can exercise because I'm healthy. I'm healthy. I'm healthy. And as I said that over and over and over again, and then took action and celebrated the promises I kept about working out and everything else like that, I taught my brain that I'm a healthy person. And so my body follows your mind. I'm sorry. There's no other way to say this. You will always become obedient to your habits in your mind. And you can't overcome them, but you can replace them. And a great place to start, because clarity without structure usually fades, is take the quiz at markjquiz.com. We'll be back here next week, and then after that we're going to twice a week. And really, fear, regret, uncertainty, am I too late to get started? Forget about it, okay? Identity struggles. We want to help you simplify this stuff. It's not complicated. Stop buying the bullshit that the Pied Pipers of prosperity are telling you. I'll get you in the right vibration. I'll teach you how to manifest. You've been manifesting perfectly since you've been 11, 12, 13 years old. You have an automated manifesting mechanism, and there's a creative genius in you. The ancients wrote about it for 5,000 years. It's still there. That trickster God that grants wishes, that's in you. You have an automated manifesting mechanism because the world without the circumstances in your life are a perfect reflection of the thoughts that you hold. So you don't need any courses on getting the right vibration. You were born in the right vibration, made first class by first class, and you're entitled to go first class as soon as you understand what success is all about. And success is service. That's all it is. That's all it is. The more you give kindness, the more it returns to you. The more you give love, the more it returns to you. So hang around people that are elevating your thinking, not people that are talking about events. 3 groups, right? Remember the 3 groups: people that talk about other people that talk about events, and people that talk about ideas. You want to be with the third group because we talked earlier about the cow and the snake. What a great lesson. They're all in nature. The cow drinks water and gives what? Milk. The snake drinks water and gives what? Venom. Okay, what's the metaphor here? Well, we all get the same, we're all in the same game. We get the same things. It's what we do with them. And what do you do with your water? What do I do with my water? Well, that's determined by who we really are. So if you want to raise your consciousness, remember that the 5 people you hang around with, you're not going to make the average income of those people. That's a bald-faced lie. I went over the math. The math simply doesn't work. The $500,000 earner, if it's 500, 400, 300, 200, 100,000, these two are going to leave right away because they're going to say, if I hang around with these 5 people, my income's going down. What that was originally about was the 5 people that you hang around with, your character will grow with theirs, up or down. So there's 3 types of people in the world. People that talk about people, and that produces the venom of the snake. People that talk about events, always judgmental, a little bit of venom there. And then people that raise consciousness, this produces productivity. We're so grateful that you guys hung in with us today. Thanks for getting us to 1.5 times what our goal was. Dave, you got anything you want to close out on?
No, I'm good. Just glad everybody was here, and I hope they learned something that will help in their everyday life.
Yeah, and Miriam, thanks so much for being here. Take the quiz at markjquiz.com. No paywall. Discover your pattern in your subconscious mind, and you'll get a couple of tips of how to overcome it.